Last, and I'm like, what is this? This is literally Wattpad. Like, why am I reading this? If I didn't hate her so much, I wouldn't be able to look at her like this, and I hate her, but she's so pretty. I'm so sorry. I did not care about the characters. I was not entertained. I was grossed out. What am I gonna buy? Cassie for Christmas. What is Moore gonna get Asriel for Christmas? What is Asriel gonna get Moore for Christmas? Give Tamlin a redemption arc. I'm one of those people. Hi, I'm Cyber Art. Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm gonna be reading books that TikTok recommended me. Let's get into it. So, to give you some background on the type of reader I am, because I've never made a book video on this channel, I am definitely an escapist reader. I like fantasy, sci-fi. I've been reading for a very long time. I started reading on Wattpad. So you know, right? I've always read when I was a kid, and I was really into like fantasy stuff. I picked up The Night Circus as one of my first books, getting back into like my reading when I was in like 6th grade. So I was like maybe 12, and I DNF'd it. I also have ADHD. It's hard for me to have like my attention span like stay on a book. Then I picked up Throne of Glass, and that led me into a 10-year reading slump. Not because the book was so good, but because the book was so bad, for my personal opinion. This is scary saying that I hated Throne of Glass as a 12-year-old or 11-year-old. I'm sorry. I thought I graduated from Wattpad. I thought I graduated from Wattpad to then read Throne of Glass, and I'm like, what is this? This is literally Wattpad. Like, why am I reading this? Which led me into like a 7-year reading slump, maybe 10 years. I don't know how long it was, until 2020, where I picked up Dune, and I realized, oh, this is my genre now. I thoroughly love Dune. It changed my life. I picked up a lot of sci-fi books after, all of the sci-fi books being more classic, older sci-fi, like made in like the 60s to 90s. So I really like that type of writing. And then I just started reading way more, and now I'm here taking opinions from BookTok. So I bet if you're clicked on this video, you've been on BookTok, and BookTok's definitely an interesting place. These are the books that TikTok recommended to me. I'm gonna start off with, not in order. I was watching Twilight one day, as we do, for like the 50th time. And I was like, you know what? I'd pick up like a werewolf vampire book. Like, I just want to see what's going on. Like, what does that genre have to offer? As I said this book just came out. And I was like, you know what? I listened to Ali Hazelwood book. I like audiobooked it, which was The Love Hypothesis. And I fell asleep every time I listened to it. And I was bored because I'm not a really contemporary in real life type of reader. Like, I like fantasy, right? But I'm like, you know what, maybe I like this because I like werewolves and vampires, and it's not contemporary like fiction the way her other books are, where they take place in the real world. This one did take place in the real world, which was fine. I just looked past it because there's enough moments in it where it didn't have that many moments in it where we're like in real life, you know, like we're kind of in like, so I just looked past it. The plot, good, like, you know, it held up. And TikTok didn't do me too dirty with this one, because I ate this book up within a couple of days, and I'm a slow reader, so I don't usually read books in a couple of days. And I liked it. I was entertained. It's not like incredibly long, and I like her characters. She, like, the main character was hilarious. So I give this book like I say, starting off, this one was pretty high for me, and then the rest of the books that TikTok had to recommend to me after I fell into a vampire werewolf reading hole had to live up to this. And if you know one thing is about vampire and werewolf on TikTok, like books like that on TikTok, the rest of them fell short from this one, or I've yet to find a good one. Pretty good. I ate it up. It was entertaining. I thought it was funny. I liked the main character. The male main character was fine. The plot twist was obviously very obvious, but I'm an oblivious person, so I was like, oh, like, that's a little surprise. Like, I thought about that, but I didn't really think about that. TikTok, not off to a bad start. Thank you, TikTok. I fell down a little bit of a rabbit hole of vampire werewolves, as I said, and then TikTok recommended me this book. My bookmarker came out, and you know what? That's good, because I'm never picking up this book again. So why did I buy a physical copy of this book? You know what? Maybe I bought a physical copy of this book so I can do literally this. It was so bad. I also read this on audiobook, and all I have to say about it is the main character is unbearable, okay? Poppy. Okay, Poppy. We get it, Poppy. You are untouched girl that is so holy and can't be touched and da-da-da-da. I get that's the plot. Sure, that's fine. Like, that already just doesn't really like sit with me well. When we get to see the male main character of this book in the very first scene, where this is not too many spoilers, but practically he thought she was going to be someone else. I was like, this is not the main character. I'm like, where's the male main character? Like, where's the love interest? Like, I'm waiting, hello. And it was him. Am I supposed to think that he's cool or likable? Like, I don't think he's likable at all. I don't think she's likable at all. She's annoying. She's annoying. Author, I feel like, really said, tell, don't show. Tell, don't show. Because the world building I didn't like either. Like, I was getting bored, and like every single time her inner monologue is just annoying. Like, she tells us the stuff that we already just read. You know, like, we get it. Oh, he just said this about me, and I never understood this because I live here, and this was what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to be like this, but he told me I can be something else. Girl, throw the whole fucking book away. Like, ugh. And then don't even get me started on like the black characters and what they're called. Like, they're called, you know what? Don't even bother with this. I mean, I thought I was really going to like this. I thought this was going to be good. I'm like, ooh, series time. It just, maybe that, like, 1 star, 1.5 star. I don't even know why I'm giving it points. I was bored, to say the least. TikTok recommended me more vampire and werewolf stuff. And this is where the whole gets to the worst part. Like, this is the deepest of the trenches here of what TikTok recommended me of vampire, werewolf, romance books. I got recommended this. I got recommended Dark City Omega. Now, I don't know if my downfall with this book was that I read it on Audible. But either way, I still don't think this was a good book. Now, did I have high expectations for Dark City Omega? No. But I did see a black main character front and center. I'm like, okay. She was looking like me. Like, let me pick up the book. Okay, she's a werewolf. Okay, cool. To start off with this fucking book. Oh my god, to start off. She's on the run, okay? All these alpha werewolf, whatever, are chasing her. Fine, whatever, girl, you're on the run. And the first place we turn up and we stay in for a long time, I don't know if we ever get out of this place in the book because I didn't stick around to find out, is fucking Trash City. Trash City. I swear it's called Trash City. I swear it's called Trash City. If it's not, I'm sorry. But it's called Trash City. And what do you think is there? And it's surrounded by trash, dirt, grime, disgusting, gross, ew. She's in trash, which is fine. You know, like, you got to start somewhere, you know, like, maybe you don't stick here long, but this girl is in Trash City, and it's disgusting. And the author's telling us about how gross this Trash City is and how smelly and bad and gross it is. And I'm like, okay, girl, you're on a journey. Let's just move through to the next part. And so she ends up staying in Trash City for a while. And I can't even tell you what the fuck happens from that point and then when she meets the male main character. I think she was just like apprehended or taken in for some reason. And then I guess she was like running through the woods to try and get away. And she's getting chased by the male main character. Oh my gosh, he's making an appearance. Like, who is this male main character? And then in in Audible, you're reading it as the female main character's perspective. And we have a narrator for her. I didn't really like the narrator. She sounded like really old. I feel like she was like that was like the voice of an older woman, and I didn't really picture her as a main character. It wasn't like lively or whatever. Fine. But then when the male main character comes into play, the voice actor starts doing a voice for him, right? When he speaks. And it's an Irish accent. Now, nothing against the Irish accent. People have hers. That's fine. But the way that it was done, like, you can tell she was really trying to enunciate that dialect or those words. Like, maybe I can do it so that people get how fucking annoying and bad it was. What did he say to her? Why are you running from me? Where are you going? Like, I can't do it. Obviously, it's horrible. But it was so fucking bad. It was so fucking bad. Like, I was cringing every time I heard it. I was like, oh, okay, let's just get back to the normal girl's point of view. And so you end up seeing the main character's point of view, and it's done by a male actor or a male voice actor. So it's like, okay, fine. Like, now we have a male voice coming through. But the Irish accent still, it was so forced. It was so forced. And it just took me out of the story. But not only that, I swear, this entire book is just the guy's perspective. Like, I actually had to DNF it at the guy's perspective because he kept going, I hate her so much. Like, if I didn't hate her so much, I wouldn't be able to look at her like this. And I hate her, but she's so pretty. I'm so sorry about my Irish accent. I'm going to stop. But he kept saying how much he hated her, but she's so pretty, but he hates her so much. And like, if she didn't speak with her pretty teeth and oh my gosh, how much he hated her. We get it. You hate her, but you want her. Like, the amount of times he probably said, I hated her, or he was mad at her, or she was annoying, or anything, was out of this world. And like, I feel like the female main character was trying so hard to be the cool, edgy, like, I'm different, I'm going my own way, don't bother me, don't do this, da-da-da. And then they both get fucking kidnapped. Sorry, I'm telling you the plot of this book because I can't explain to you how bad it is without telling you like what I was actually listening to. Anyway, they get apprehended and they're in Trash City where it's gross, disgusting, smelly. I swear the female main character described the male main character as like having some sort of scent that wasn't appealing. Like, what am I reading? And I know like werewolves and smelling stuff, like I get that. But they're in like this jail cell together and they're just like surrounded by disgustingness and they have to like piss in front of each other. The book was enough for me. I had enough. It was not romantic. I did not care about the characters. I was not entertained. I was grossed out. Like, I was actually grossed out. Like, I put that book down so fast. Like, I tried to stay for it. Like, I really tried to power through. Like, I couldn't do it. That was Dark City Omega. We are done with the vampire and fucking werewolves because nothing held up for me. The next one I'm probably going to give a try is Serpent in the Wings of Night or something like that. Maybe I'll give that one a try when I want to touch vampire or fucking werewolf shit again. Oh, sorry. To give a rating to Dark City Omega, it's going to have to be half a star. It gets half a star because it's 0 stars. It's 0 stars. A girl like me fell into ACOTAR. How could you not? On BookTok. And here are my thoughts on each book, and I'm going to make this a little fast. So, first book. Okay, it was kind of like Beauty and the Beast retelling. I was entertained to start. Like, it's about just keeping me entertained, keeping me in the story. I think the part where it kind of got slow was the middle of the book. I'm like, what's the plot? What's the point? What are we doing here? Until like the whole Amarantha stuff started up. And by the end of it, I was like, or towards the end of it, I was like, okay, like this is entertaining. And then it got to the riddle part. And I was like, the answer was fucking love. I was like, I was waiting for something elaborate. Like, how the frick are we going to guess what this riddle is that Feyre has to do? And the answer was like love, true love or something. maybe I'm just bad at riddles. Maybe riddles, like, the point, it's supposed to be basic, but anyway. And the parts where, like, Feyre was doing the, like, trials or whatever, and she couldn't freaking read. I get that that's a setback for the character. Like, I get that's the flaw, and that's, like, good that she has that. But I was so frustrated. I'm like, bitch, read. Like, just read. Like, no, I'm being rude. I'm being rude. She can't read, and that's fine. But it was just like, like, girl. Anyway, Court of Thorns and Roses, solid book, entertaining, good. The second one, way more entertaining than the first one. I liked it way more. I ate it up. I thought it was good. I was listening to it while I was on the treadmill. I was like, okay. And I also was listening to the graphic audios of these books. And I spent, like, all my Audible credits on, like, the part 1 of the graphic audio, the part 2 of the graphic audio. But part 2 was really entertaining. I liked it. I liked Feyre and Razan's, like, story. I do have thoughts about that a little bit later in the series. Like, their banter was pretty good. Like, I thought it was funny. And the story was entertaining. Do I remember what happens at the end of that one? No. Yeah, I do. But it's like she writes her characters interesting and compelling. That's good about her writing. But, like, I feel like there's better writing out there. Yeah, I was entertained with the second one the most, I'd say, until one other book. And then we got to ACOTAR, what Wings in Ruin. The book was, oh my gosh, the beginning, like, what's gonna happen? And then the plot at the beginning, like, gets resolved. And then I'm like, I'm fucking bored. Oh my god, war. I don't care about war. And then the end is like, what even happens at the end? I don't even remember what happens at the end. The rest of it, I was like, blah, 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 war, blah, 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 blah. I don't care about their war. Sorry. Feyre and Razan's escapades, is that the word? Feyre and Razan's offgoings or doings during the war. This is where my hatred for Feyre and Razan started to grow. Maybe not a hatred, but a dislike for them. They started becoming characters that I'm like, okay, you really chose to do that here? You really chose to do that in general. Okay. And they're so extra. Feyre and Razan are the most extra couple ever. Like, oh my god, we get it. You guys love each other. We get it. Ugh. They're not subtle in any way. But whatever. That leads to the little novella book, the Frost and Starlight. Throw that book in the fucking trash. Okay. Why did I even read that book? Please. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought I was expecting, like, something good and, like, spicy or something entertaining. Literally, that book needs to get X'd out. X, boom. I don't know why I read it. I don't like it. It's boring. It was, what am I going to buy Razan for Christmas? What am I going to buy Cassie for Christmas? What is Moore going to get Asriel for Christmas? What is Asriel going to get Moore for Christmas? I don't care what you guys are buying each other for Christmas. I don't care. Oh, Feyre has a little art workshop thing. Cool. Feyre feels bad about everyone that got affected by the war. Okay. Feyre really needs to go Christmas shopping. Feyre and Razan are building a new giant house. Cool. Am I supposed to, like, be excited? Like, I feel like because when the characters, maybe because they have no conflict, like, yeah, I'm excited to see the happy parts of two characters' relationships and, like, the good and lovely times where there's no conflict. But they lack interestingness when there's no conflict or when there's no buildup of their relationship and the relationship's just, like, you know, which is fine. Like, that's how relationships are. Like, it's normal. Everything's going smooth. But they become so, like, I don't care page to page what they're saying to each other. Because it's like, okay, what's the point? Like, they just started becoming, like, annoying to me. So, the interesting part of A Court of Frost and Starlight was the end with Nessa and Cassian. Though Nessa was rude to him for, like, literally no reason. But, like, of course, you find out why Nessa's rude. But it was like, damn, like, Cassian, like, how do you put up with this girl? Like, she's mean. Like, the moment I would have talked to Nessa and she treated me like the way she treats Cassian, like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Like, I'm just gonna mind my business. Like, I tried being friends with you. It's fine. But Cassian is hella persistent, and you find out why in the next book. Court of Silver Flames. I was very shocked when I'm like, oh, this is all Nesta's perspective. Like, no more Feyre and Razan. But I quickly learned, thank goodness it's no more Feyre and Razan, because they're annoying now. Nesta's character at the beginning, obviously, I don't know if anyone really liked her at the beginning. Like, I just didn't like the way Feyre treated Nesta like she was her charity project, you know? Like, I get she wanted to help her sister, but it was so, like, tough. Like, it was so, like, oh, like, we wouldn't do that nowadays if someone needed help, you know? Like, maybe just talk to her about things. But, and Feyre felt so, like, having some sort of, like, power over her sisters and everybody else, that I don't know if I feel like Feyre, I know she did enough to be respected in, like, the Fae lands and stuff, like, having the power she had and defending people. But I'm like, I just don't feel like she, at the end of it all, or at the end of it so far, gave a high lady. Like, I don't know. Maybe this is really controversial. I'm sorry. But I didn't like the way she treated Nesta either. I don't think forcing her to do XYZ was a good idea. And I guess, like, it makes it more interesting having a critical lens on the main character, that you, like, come to like their story and like who they are, and then they're a different person, at least for me, at the end of the series so far. And it really made me more critical of Feyre and Razan, which was interesting. So I will give it points for that. Feyre and Razan, I feel like I would not be friends with them. Is that weird? I feel like I wouldn't like being around them as characters, because I feel like there's like some sort of, like, it's not control, you know, it's just like they seem so, like, high and mighty, and then you're just like everybody else, you know? And the way Razan acted in this book, that was it for me. Razan is like, you're annoying now, dude. Like, bye. All that shit, bye. Which I guess makes him, like, more interesting because he has faults, but I also don't understand why his character made the decisions that he did in this book. I don't get why withholding certain things from Feyre was within his character. Like, I was kind of surprised. Or the way he lashed out at Nesta. And I'm like, my girl Nesta did not deserve that hate from you, honestly, Razan. We need a Razan, fucking put Razan in his place in the next book. Because the way Razan is with Feyre is so annoying. Like, they're just the couple that, like, you just don't want to be around because you'd be third wheeling to, like, the craziest degree. Like, they just can't act normal. Like, they can't act like they're friends. Would Feyre and Razan be friends? I don't know if they weren't together. Nesta and Cassian, what this book is mainly about, was a little bit, like, okay for me, their story. The only thing that, like, wasn't realistic to me was the fact that, like, why did Cassian even feel like he could put up with Nesta? Like, I know, given his past and, like, who he is and, like, the task at hand he had to do to be there for her, but I don't know how he wasn't as annoyed with her as he was when he first met her all the time. Maybe I just wasn't paying attention as much, but I do like that Nesta found her friends and people and had, like, a character arc and changing who she was. I think that was really nice and a beautiful message. And I think the message of having just, like, your girlfriends there, being there for you, supporting you, and finding your people was really beautiful. And I love that, you know. I love how the author showed female friendships in this one. It was very cute and, like, beautiful. I love that. So that was Silver Flames for me. I think by the end of it, I do like Nesta's character. I think she definitely had a character arc. And I think it was interesting. Feyre and Razan, garbage. I don't care about them. Amren, I don't care about her either. Okay? Everyone has started to get, like, ugh. And now I like Nesta and, like, maybe Elaine. Maybe. And honestly, give Tamlin a redemption arc. I'm one of those people. I know people call him tampon, which someone said that these look like tampons, and now I can't unsee it, so maybe this is just a justice for tampon video. But Tamlin, I feel like he needs his arc. Like, I'd be interested to see what happens to him. And yeah, so that was what Book Talk recommended me. All in all, I mean, ACOTAR as a whole, like, it's a solid, interesting series. For a book to keep me that interested, for me listening to all of those books all the way through, is kind of crazy. So I have to give it at least like 4 stars, right, for its entertainingness. But Book Talk as a whole, like, I feel like you have to find people on Book Talk or creators that you really like their style of reading, and they kind of align with you in the books that you find interesting as well. It's hard to find that. You really have to find like a creator that you just really like their opinions once you've read enough books. And I think overall, like, the hype Book Talk brings to books for good authors, there are bad ones, but good authors, is ultimately a good thing for the reading community. Like, I feel like I have a community of people that like the same books that I do, and I can see people's opinions on TikTok. And yeah, there's also Book Talk can also be critical of authors and things, and share that information with everyone else, and I think that's a good thing as well. So Book Talk did me good with Bride, did me horrible with Dark City Omega and From Blood and Ash, and then ACOTAR was pretty good. That's what Book Talk recommended me in terms of like Book Talk books that are fantasy. Now, I do want to do a video where it's like Booktube recommendations, because I think I almost consume way more Booktube than I do Book Talk. And then maybe Bookstagram recommendations, which I feel like Bookstagram and Book Talk are very similar. Maybe a little bit different. Like, Bookstagram is very tropey, because it's really pictures that you're just showing of like what is in this book, what you're getting, which I'm not mad at. But this is not this type of video. Hopefully you enjoyed me talking about books for the first time. And yeah, hopefully I'm gonna make more videos about books, but I need to read more books because I'm a slow ass reader. Like, I'm slow at reading. I usually read books that are like, I'm currently reading one of my favorite books. I know this is one of my favorite series other than Dune, that I don't see on Book Talk. I don't really see on Booktube that much, like maybe a little bit. It is pretty niche, I feel like. I feel like there's like me and like 6 other people that like this book. Once I finish that series, I'll probably make a video about it. Yeah, I've read a lot of sci-fi books, but I feel like the sci-fi community is a bit smaller. So maybe I'll do a video about that. But hopefully you enjoyed. And yeah, maybe the takeaway is find people that you agree with their opinions about books, that you trust on Booktube or Book Talk, and just keep reading. You know, like, I know books are expensive, but my Kindle also has really helped with me reading faster and being able to read more different titles from having Kindle Unlimited. So read, and don't be scared to DNF. I used to be scared of DNFing. I felt like I had to be completionist and finish a book till its end, but honestly, I've DNF'd so many books. It's whatever at the end of the day. Just read what you want and put down what you don't like. And don't go into like a 8-year reading slump like I did. Thank goodness for Dune getting me out of there. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.